Hello everybody, my name is Welcome. Oh shit, I didn't, okay, let's search how to close YouTube chat. Disable is the correct word. Okay, let's go here, live. Maybe there must be, there must be. Edit. Chat live, turned off. Save. There is no more chat. There is no more chat. Fuck, shut up. There is no more chat. Fuck, shut up. There is no more. Oh my god. Let's see if the audio is as expected.
Remember, it was Naga Prophet.
As
this is like the
expected.
get-go. Remember, it was Naga Prophet. This is like the get-go. Remember, it was Naga Prophet. This is like the get-go. Remember, it was Naga Prophet. This is like the get-go. Remember, it was Naga Prophet. This is like the get-go. Remember, it was Naga Prophet. Remember.
No.
With the save.
No, it doesn't work. Why do you not work?
Video coming out from Typebound.
Why do you not work? Yeah, I should have checked that before starting stream, my bad. Why application audio capture? Geometry dash. Okay. Nope, doesn't work. Oh wait, hold on, it's not the thing. Oh my god. It doesn't work at all. Okay. Application audio capture window.
Are talking about Extreme Gaming, who stepped out towards the playoffs, but there's also teams getting eliminated already in this road to TI before that elimination round happened, and the third team that got eliminated was Boom Esports, and we are gonna head over to Nomad to catch up with Armel for some final words from the team.
Unfortunately, I am here with Armel. Armel, I mean, that was a crazy series. What's going through your head right now?
I mean, just really so they actually do the
Oh, let me just update the.
Crazy back and forth, you know, long game. Do you just have kind of...
So, chat disabled to avoid silksong spoilers.
while we're drafting, we kind of expect that we're gonna be doing well. Like maybe at the
Save.
but then everything got messed up, and then the early got so hard, and then we try to.
Shut up, bro. What the fuck? Am I even at the stream I was? Yeah. Yeah, I'm where we're supposed to be. Dude, this fucking bullshit doesn't work. Match title, otherwise find window same executable. Okay. And nope. This shit just doesn't work. The fuck do I do? Oh my god, 2 viewers with no chat. That's insane. You're gonna watch me do nothing. No, that's not what I wanted to open up. That's not what I wanted to open up.
Create audio tracks and close. Use the volume sliders in the mixer to control how loud each input is. You will now have separate audio tracks in OBS for Discord, music, gameplay, and more.
It doesn't work.
In this video,
I just watched those videos. It's the exact same.
Apply, then click OK.
Apply, then click OK. Yeah, bro.
Button, go and then turn that off, and if I want I could go and turn my mic on. If you guys
This shit doesn't work. Yep. Remove, yes.
At hand here, there's no elimination in this series. We have advancement on the line, and it is Team Falcons that is one game up in this best of 3 against Tidebound. It was a very long game, number 1. I'm sure that Tidebound has a lot to think about, but the same thing goes for Falcons, because they do try to be one step ahead of their opponent's Stormstorm. Now, where do you think Falcons is going to go with that? I'm sure they know they're not going to get their hands on that same combo again.
I would say first of all it depends on what the picking order is. Of course we know that. So it depends if they're gonna have second pick again or first pick. But I would say that they would probably just keep running the simulations. I think in this particular draft they got away with a lot of bonuses. I mean, even if they would have not gotten the Prophet but got the Naga at least, or vice versa, they would already feel happy. So I would say because the draft went that handedly for them, they will probably think about the worst case scenarios. What happens if they take the Shaker instead of us? Do we want the Beastmaster into it? Do we want to already take the Naga earlier, etc., etc.? So I think they're just going to keep running the draft simulation and ask all the players, hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah, we do have the information that it will be Falcons that gets first pick in the next game, so that way the roles are swapped. That should be good. We normally say that first pick is the better one, right? Slight edge on the stats there.
Yeah, I think it's a bit tough now for Tidebound, because like first game you did the trade-off Beast versus Shaker. I would just think that you don't want to give the Shaker again. You're probably gonna end up giving them away something like some Beastmaster, or yeah, it just seems like a tough order right now. I feel like Falcons has so many good heroes.
I feel like this panel is unable to break Falcons right now. After game number 1, we're not getting any great ideas.
We're trying.
We're trying.
There's a reason we are sitting on these chairs.
Yeah, I
and
just think you don't want to give them a Shaker. I feel like this hero this hero looks just too strong. It does too many things too well. The fact that you can now kill a creeper just with one Fissure, with a shot, and this being off map, and you can just instant kill any hero with Echo, the refresher build, the stack farming with the Echo Slam. There's just too many strong things about this hero, but it looks like it might go through actually.
The stats with Shaker definitely don't lie. It's still very high up there.
Yeah, quick question then though, because it was the Naga Siren that was the most banned hero, and I know, Mizor, you've been questioning whether it was a little overrated. Previous game, it was not maybe the star of the show, but it did have a large impact.
Yeah, it did, certainly. I mean, this game was a game where Naga looked really strong, once again. The other games is more where it has no real synergy. The last game, it just fit perfectly into the playstyle of Falcon, how they can push out lanes, how they can always have the song to fall back on, giving vision for the Shaker to find kills around the map with the Snapfire. So I think that the Naga had great synergy in that game. It's just often you need to be careful with that hero, because he doesn't deal any damage. He's not the traditional 5 hero, right? It's very special.
True.
They basically traded Shaker for Sand King.
No Shaker? Is Shaker's banned?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Shaker is banned, but now Falcons get their hands on Sand King.
Beast is in the pool still as well.
Beast, and compared to previous game, we also have the Shadow Fiend and Templar Assassin in. Those were first phase banned by Falcons in the previous game.
Yeah, Templar Assassin is a hero they pick a lot. I wouldn't even be surprised to see it pick up right here, because it's probably going to get banned out if you don't take it now.
Yeah, another hero that was also pickable was the Beastmaster once again.
Yeah.
It's already a free map for the Sankey mid though, so I get why they might pick a Centaur here instead. Which, in my opinion, is a very interesting pick, because it doesn't really... Okay, it does attract the Sankey in some way that you can stampede out when he uses Epicenter. That is probably the thought process they have. He also goes for a pipe, which obviously mitigates a lot of the magic damage coming through.
I feel like it's also full comfort zone for them, right? Like they've been playing a lot of Centaur through the years, like through the last season at least.
Yeah, I think another hidden... This hero has been a little bit forgotten recently, but the fact that he scales so well into late game now with the Aghanims, the cart, I think that makes a big difference about this hero compared to previously, where he was just this guy who blinks in and stuns, and then he has a stampede, but that's kind of it. But now at least he scales insanely well into late game, especially with range carries like the TA, Medusa, things like that can actually hit from the card as well, right? So interesting pick here from Tidebound.
Yeah, and the cart is like, what, around 20 seconds cooldown? Like, so you're basically getting stampede every... I think it's like 20, 25 maybe max.
It's really good. And now if Tidebound keeps running their script, it might be an AA following this up, because they keep running these initiators on the off lane on Bach and using the damage on the support, so this could be something that they look into.
It is Falcons banning out the Snapfire themselves, now with the Disruptor joining suit, so a couple of supports removed from the pool. They will be Tidebound banning one hero and picking out of this ban phase, so they can use this ban to protect whatever they're planning on picking up themselves.
Yeah, they did have the AA combo with the Centaur and also the TA, which kind of fits the archetype that Misery was talking about, the range hero.
But it's also interesting that Falcons then choose to ban out two supports, knowing that AA is another one that they're just going to take, right? So in that sense, it's a little bit of a wasted ban, if you could say that, right? If Tidebound anyway is just going to pick AA. So, of course, Falcons might not be afraid of AA at all, right? This is another aspect of it, but that does leave the TA in the pool for Tidebound to potentially pick up later on in the draft.
Is there anything in particular that Snapfire and Disruptor are just really strong against that Falcons is already protecting beforehand?
They're just the S tier supports, right? More so than AA, which is more like only Tidebound's playing.
Yeah.
I would say so. I think those heroes have a very solid lane condition as well. I mean, they're being ran by the majority of teams. AA is a little more niche, and I would say just Misery just nailed it. I think they don't really respect what the hero provides in the early game or lane stage or something like that.
Fair enough. Let's see, Tidebound is taking into their bonus time to decide what they want to ban out here, and it will be another support that Crit has been playing in the Grimstroke, and they'll pick up that AA.
Yeah, they keep it simple, right? Like they ban out heroes that Falcons have showcased through their matches. Meanwhile, Falcons are kind of taking a different route. They're banning out your general heroes that they are thinking are good. AA plus Centaur, like I feel like when you're playing versus Falcons, AA comes kind of naturally. The Zoo really isn't there for them.
He also played the other day against a bunch of Zoo, and he didn't really seem to care.
Because
it
he's
looked like the worst AA game of all time, but he was still doing his thing. Hoodwink is still a hero.
Yeah.
And a classic Crit hero at that as well.
I was wondering if they're just going to pick up this hero because, as we mentioned, there are so many ranged subs being banned out. And I thought about Crit's hero pool. Honestly, only the Hoodwink was left, I think, if I'm not missing something.
What about Snaking's hero, though? Because both Ench and Potna, which is traditionally his heroes, are not that good against AA Centaur, in my opinion. So could we see a Snaking Mirana this game, perhaps?
I was thinking Mirana or Crystal Maiden, one of his classics coming out.
Well.
It will be the Enchantress still, though.
I mean, it is kind of Zoo versus Ancient early on, and if Ancient Apparition is the 4 which they like to run, he is susceptible to a creep just getting behind you and setting up a kill perhaps, so...
Yes, this
at least for the laning stage, I can see.
This should be very good for the early game, right? I can imagine, like, the A doesn't really interact with the creep that it can dominate.
Later on, it's a problem, though. Like, the moment you get hit by that ult, you can't heal, it's too much magic damage. You might go for a pipe, perhaps.
It's a good point with the early game, because that's where the Ench really shines in this matchup, right? Of course, later on you can die, you can't really heal and everything, but early game you kind of destroy both supports right now with a creep.
And they pick the Ember here. Obviously, the counters are hard to pick here because the Monkey King is already banned. And the other hero that is traditionally very popular is the Huskar, which is an unplayable match against AA because you're generally speaking low HP and the Ice Punch just shreds your standard gameplay.
Yeah, wow, that's not a good win rate for him either. I do want to touch upon the Bane a little bit. It's been quite a popular support, probably because a lot of the other ones are banned out. It's another range support. But a 58% win rate over 24 picks? I think that's quite high.
Yeah, that's exceptional, really.
I'm not really sure why Bane. I mean, it's just Bane has the same toolkit he's had for many years now. He has the pseudo save and the nightmare, right? He's a solid laner. He has extended night vision. The grip is obviously always going to be good later on as well. It's very anti-carry. You could easily see him end up gripping the Sven later on in this game and having high impact that way.
it's a small thing as well, but these small things add up. Like the sleepwalk thing kind of comes in handy as well in the laning stage sometimes. Like you can combo up nicely with a couple of heroes.
There's also a crazy mechanic about the Bane that if you sleep an enemy, because force staff, with the sleepwalk fast that we talked about, if you force staff that guy, the force staff has extended range and you can actually manipulate them into your alignment. Like you can basically lasso them into you. I'm not sure if he's aware of that mechanic, but I've seen this pop off and it looked really, really strong.
What are the carry picks for Tidebound against Sven? They ban out the troll. Like we have seen, was it? It was yesterday with the lifestealer that the team tried, but it didn't really work.
I mean, there's something like Faceless Void that maybe could work here. You have an AA to set up for the chrono. You have a lot of disables. You need some kind of win condition.
What about also just a casual Medusa again? I mean, this time they have much more lockdown, right?
Yeah, TA is in stone pool, also very good against Sven.
Yeah, and you want that ranged carry that you guys mentioned with the cart?
I feel like it's probably one of the best ones. We have seen her do quite well against Sven this morning too. It's another hero that doesn't really care too much about Sven's overwhelming one-hit damage.
Should maybe get banned here though by Falcons, I would say. I don't think they mind the Sven versus Dusa matchup that much. I mean, I think people have mixed feelings about that, but I think a lot of Sven players don't care Dusa. They think that there's just too much raw physical damage that you can actually kill him pretty quick in like a stun, right? Sanking stun into Sven stun, and Sven is just killing him in a couple of hits.
Yeah, now Falcon's also thinking about their last pick, which is likely if they keep running the script of Malrine Sanking mid, or Malrine melee heroes really, Sanking Shaker Beast all the way, they will pick an Amar hero on the last pick. It could be, for example, the Underlord again, because if you look at this game, the Pit of Malice seems quite handy here, stopping the Stampede, stopping the M from dumping out. Good follow-up on Sanking and Sven.
This is the Magnus that you mentioned last game as well.
Oh, they go for the Magnus.
There it is, yeah.
This time they go for it. With an Ursa ban, I was thinking of that carry as well, because it has, generally speaking, good matchup against Sanking and Sven, I think. But now the Templars left in the pool that you guys mentioned.
Well, I think if you were to go run the Dusa back again, I think this wouldn't be a bad choice in this game, because the stuff we talked about, Falcons does not have it this time around. They don't have this global pressure. They don't have the lane push the same way at all. So I think it's a decent choice for them here.
And you get a really good save that you were talking about earlier as well.
Yeah.
A form of cart here, right? Like no matter what one of these, TA or Medusa, I feel like are a really good choice for Team Tidebound.
Quick question, because you cannot RP people in the cart. In the cart, you are completely invincible, correct?
Basically, yes.
I'm not sure. In the beginning it was different. You could get stunned by AoE stuns like Lina stun, for example. But maybe that got changed? I'm not 100% sure.
Ooh, let's see it in action right here.
But
learning as we go.
The Medusa still seems really interesting, because we could also, if you think about last round, we can read a little bit that Amar did not want the Magnus against Medusa. He voted for the Underlord over it.
The Morphling. Hero Morphling. Like, this is a hero he kind of came into the scene with. He has a very mean Morphling, but I don't know if I'm sold on this hero at the moment.
It's a ranged carry, can fit in the cart.
Yeah,
that's nice. Check that box. How does he pair up, like, if you have in vacuums the carry matchup, Sven versus Morph?
I think it's an okay Morphling game. It's a bit the same. Maybe it's just like, what do you want to play, TA, Medusa, or Morphling, and then he wants to play something else. It could be something like that. You can also steal the Sanking, obviously, making you really strong. I think it's a good lane matchup against Magnus, at least traditionally. He doesn't really care much about him. And high armor against Sven.
Yeah, and you can later buy the shard, so if you get caught off guard by a bow strike or an RP, you can still morph in the stun, I suppose. Maybe it also comes in hand that you can morph into the Magnus, get that juicy empower on your high base damage. That could be something you're thinking about.
And there's also the early laning stage potential for you to just don't care about Enchantress rotating in with creeps. Like, you can always wait for him, which is something that TA and Medusa would find a little bit challenging, perhaps. So for Shiro, this is definitely his call and his full comfort zone.
Okay. Does that mean that you are also thinking that Tidebound will push this to a third game?
I think Sven has low win rates at the moment, but I'm a big Sven enjoyer.
Okay. How are we thinking, Israel?
I think it's a little bit more even. I think Falcon's draft is something that they did before. It's solid and everything, but it's not as cheesy as last game. I do think that the Ench by snaking can have insane impact this game. He can really bully the supports. If he starts taking down some of the towers, it could be really grim for Tidebound. But if that doesn't happen and AA gets his level 6 in a decent time, then I think we have a game at our hands here.
Yeah, I mean, I would also add to Misery's point, I agree that the Enchantress looks really strong here. Like, I'm not sure how Lizard feels as an Ench expert, but I also always think Ench is super annoying for the Ember. Like, you purchase your Flame Guards, you don't really kill him. On the other hand, I think Type 1 has some really cool mechanics with the Ember AA combo. I think that's a really strong combo that can basically kill anybody in like 5 seconds.
Okay, well, let's see if Tidebound can push this series to a third game, or will Falcons punch their ticket to the playoffs of the International? We're finding out together with Odie Pixel on Falcons.
Thank you very much, Shiv. Yes, game 2 time ready to go here between Tidebound and Falcons. And yeah, Fog, this time around, it is a big old carry to win the draft. It's not the Deucer, this time it's the Morphling. I feel like we've been seeing a few Morphlings come through the last couple of days. Something I feel that happens a lot of times at like TIs, where it's like you're just looking at your carry player and you say, hey, what do you want to play? So, Morph, this game, how do you feel about it?
I mean, it definitely has its matchups that it can do pretty decent first. You know, some limited catch in a way. Yeah, there's a lot of stuns, but there's no real silences, so he can't play around that at the least. But I've also been a bit hesitant on these Morphlings. I don't know. It takes too long. And these games, yes, these games are long. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, we just had, 70 minutes or something?
But the first 30 minutes are very important in terms of how you can actually like get yourself to build to that point. And some of these Morphs never get to actually build to that point. I'm like trying to get to the one with from Enigma earlier today where he kind of did, but then he still couldn't fight anyway. So let's see if they can build this draft around with that Morphling. And so small things I did want to point out here is that I don't know, I was watching this draft order, and something traditionally in the past to deal with like these Sankings was these Pipe / Mage Slayer buyers, right? So I saw them build, they get Sanking, or they get a Centaur, and then they pick the Ember Spirit. So I see probably the Mage Slayer plus the Pipe. But then I see Falcons, their last 2 picks, or last like 3 picks, is all physical damage, right? So they're pivoting away from that idea of having to worry about that mitigation. So some cool stuff, cool ideas coming in from both sides.
Let's have a look. It's a very long, hard-fought game 1, but one that would definitely been much more painful for Tidebound to endure and to play the majority of that game. Tens of thousands of gold behind that. And Falcons.
I'm surprised Panel was saying, you know, maybe he wants to play Deuce. Who wants to play Deuce again after that? You just played a 75-minute
I think it's more like his teammates don't want to play with him a Deucer altogether. They're like, bro, we're not letting you farm for 70 minutes for that again.
I mean, playing it, he clearly was like, guys, give me the AA again. I didn't have enough. But everybody else is playing a little bit of a different style coming into this one, except for him.
Let's have a look. As it goes with the lanes. I mean, I think definitely top. You got to be a bit careful on the Morph, right? You know, you can never underestimate that kind of poke that comes out from Crit. Mid lane, it's going to be all right, but a lot of harassment there coming out from Marine.
I wonder how this lane is now. This does feel like it's quite a bit harder for the Ember Spirit in comparison to what it was before.
Yeah, I think it's chiller. Chiller for the Sand King.
But we shall see, because yeah, that build is definitely going to come out from nothing to say. Malrine, I mean, because they can do some pretty crazy stuff on this thing.
Yeah, Malrine Sand King has been popping off so far here on the road to TI.
So little thing that Misery pointed out, I mean little thing, but a big thing actually that Misery pointed out at the end there, and I'm glad he did, is the snaking Enchantress. Looking at the game overall, it's a game where he can absolutely be very disruptive in this early game because the 2 supports do not really enjoy playing versus these Enches early on, so his impact could be pretty high. That's why you don't really see an AA4 in most lineups. I know this team absolutely loves it, but Snake can definitely do some moves and take advantage of this. If he's able to find a good creep, make a rotation to mid or to that safe lane. And speaking of that safe lane, you said it might not be the easiest one for the Morphling. We're definitely seeing that already versus the Mag and the Hoodwink. He has a fair bit of creeps coming into himself right now, but
yeah, he's just got to be careful because there's a decent amount of burst and catch early on.
He does get that shift off. He's keeping himself at a healthy margin, right? 730, keeping himself pretty high up there, but is making him miss that extra CS. Amar has 6 denies already.
I feel like it doesn't really get easier for the Morph. It just kind of gets to the point where eventually he's of course going to be able to hit the jungle and farm the lane. It's always going to feel pretty strong for this Mag Hoodwink combo.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, this is a really, really strong one. They have the fortunate thing, of course, of Y, where they have like a bailout, right? If he needs to, he can skill to sleep and protect with a small little instance of protection, but these lanes definitely do feel quite strong again, as we mentioned. You know, Falcons, for me in that last game, they had a kind of a 3 winning lane position. This time, I wouldn't say they have 3 winning lanes, but they definitely are set up to do very well in 2 of them at least. third one maybe. I mean, the bottom one is a bit more of that volatile one, depending on how snaking does, but...
Bottom. Good pass. They've
He's
got him.
actually dead.
First blood.
That is pretty surprising that they're able to do that down here with these two, with this Enchantress behind. Bach fueling his power on the Centaur. He looks much more comfortable on this hero, I have to be honest.
Yeah, had a bit of a rough game on the Axe, right? He fell behind massively in the mid-game, despite having a really good start, right? Was able to maximize, grabbing, pulling the creep waves, farming the jungle. He was top net worth coming out of the lanes, but that slipped away from him very quickly in the Axe game.
Yeah, and honestly, Centaur overall, I just feel like a way better hero.
Centaur's great, yeah.
You build the auras, which apparently are very good in this current meta right now, and you build cart in the late game, which is S tier, as we've seen, since all these games are going to like 50, 60 minutes.
And you're just that hero that the enemy never really wants to go on.
Yeah.
Because it's just annoying. Maybe you burst him low, but then he's stampeding out. And then you've already dropped pretty much the majority of your spells to try and even just get close to killing a Centaur.
Ooh, nice little move there from Planet. Since they're doing so good bottom already, swings toward the mid, takes away the rune. So nothing to say, gets the fill up, while Malrine does not. Malrine is healthy though, so it's not going to have too much of an adverse effect, but at least being able to deny that rune. So 5 minutes coming up pretty soon. So 0-1 Morph can... Hey, look how low. He's just making sure he pumps himself up so he can get those extra CS. But the CS and the safe lanes are suffering. 13-3, 14-5, the two of them. Definitely going to be off to that slow start.
Yeah, I mean, both these carriers will be able to pick things up in the jungle, but you're still going to see what the Sven accelerate a little bit quicker early on.
I think quite a bit quicker too, right? If he does get even an Empower thrown on him to him casually, I imagine that we do see the Dominator come out for Amar, right? So they're going to be able to stack more freely in terms of both the Hoodwink and the Creep that can be sent over. And oh, look at this, cheeky move.
Yeah, very difficult for Taipan on the other side to get stacks going if Marine's going to be stealing stuff like this.
Here comes the moves, Planet. Snaking has that Creep now. He has hit level 3.
It's good setup. They got the Bushwhack as well. With the Acorn shot and the right clicks, there's going to be Bart going down.
This is when this lane gets up. It's when the level 2 enchant is online. Still was surprised that they killed Skeeter before that, but... Rotation from Crit. Looks like he feels like he can just leave the Magnus alone. He's done this every time he's played with Amar playing the Mag, that he just ends up free roaming. But that also means Tidebound can start to make rotations too. So let's see where Y wants to go with this Bane. Play around this mid-power rune.
And trying to kill Marine's pretty hard. Yeah. But yeah, at least taking away that 6-minute rune from him.
Snaking, also walking in. He's looking for a big creep to get involved into this. So I blocked it, just kidding. Haste rune, no longer able to really pressure so much there. So I was pointing out the 5 minutes for a specific reason, because we've seen Malrine a bunch of these games. If he gets any type of early advantage, he takes the mid tower with that first catapult, with that Sandstorm applying miss rate to towers. The attacks, I gotta say that. But this time, not gonna be the case. They are able to claim that rune for the Ember. And ooh, speaking of the ace rune for the Ember,
he's heading over.
Pulls him out of the Sandstorm.
Marine could be in trouble here. Remnant into the chain, Sleight of Fist. He's got some one charges, Marine, getting underneath the tier 2, trying to juke them. And it's actually going to be enough to live here with the speed boost of the phase boost. He'll get away from that.
That was pretty clever, though, by Y. Pulling him out of the Sandstorm with the Sleepwalk. That was a very nice attempt to go for the kill there. 1-for-1 exchange. The stacks are already looking almighty for the side of Falcons.
And what are sort of the chances of Tidebound getting over here with the heroes that they have? It's kind of difficult,
like
right?
0, I don't think they can.
Especially with the fact they're not really going to be able to bring Bark over anytime soon, as he's starting to get punished a bit in this lane. Falcons very much turning around one of the lanes that was going Tidebound's way in the early few waves. Two times now they've killed Bark off.
I think if they go there, they have to bring a lot of numbers, because Nothing to Say has gone for the Slight Chain build as well. It doesn't have any points in the Flame Guard too, so them stealing them is very difficult, but maybe contesting and fighting there could maybe be an option. Malrine, top of net worth, 3,600 for him. Same thing for Amar. He's already starting to pull and maximize. He even gets the courier taken away there from Shiro. He's been liking his double bracers more again. I think this is the 4th. I'd actually, maybe even more. I've seen a lot of games now from him going 2 Brazers.
Oh, nice deny there from Crit.
That was sneaky.
Yeah, was able to get that before nothing. So was able to get the pick off. Nice acorn shot as well from Crit. Turning up on the 2 of them with that bushwhack. And that gets them the kill against Y. Nothing to say we'll be able to live, but only just. Crit coming in clutch there to help Malrine around that power in spawn.
Malrine, they're actually going to be able to find that Sentry Ward too, so they'll be able to get that jungling at the beginning and get that acceleration of far more. Snaking is being pesky. He can just go over and steal creeps, block camps as he's starting to do, and look to put emphasis on that mid lane, even as a creep here.
I mean, that
mid, crit.
We'll go down.
I would say the one good thing for the side of Tybound at the moment is that the Spanish shut down. He's slowed down quite a bit. But he has a lot of recovery points in this game. Gonna be able to go back to those Ancients, always farms at that crazy fast pace in those stacks. Of course, Falcons is gonna play to having quite a bit of them. Oh, I actually don't think they found that sentry, that sneaky sentry. Just blocking the camp. Yeah, 2 of them. Snay will have to do his work to get those taken care of.
Crit's going to return to the mid. Try and see if we can find that last bit of XP. Almost, Malrine's looking elsewhere. Malrine's going to get back out the map and head top. So maybe see if they can try and catch out Shira by surprise.
They definitely can if they can stun him from the tree line.
There we go. Opening up with the bow strike. RP follow-up. The burst is there. Very nicely done from the 2 of them.
Malrine on fire again in this early game. Blink Dagger is done faster than the blink on his Earthshaker, I think.
Yeah, this is quick. And just being able to make that move against the carry morph before you even have the blink on you, it's going to feel very good there for Falcons.
And this is what we were mentioning. Look at this tower. For some reason, the Sanking's taking 0 damage. Applies that miss rate, and he could just stand there and do it completely on his own, pretty much, with the creeps. 50%. Crazy. And there's the Dominator done. So Amar off to a hot start. 3K lead in the first 10 minutes. We did mention this is what happens a lot of times with morphing lineups, right? The early game, the first like 15, 20 minutes is definitely where they're on the back foot. Well, let's see if they can put things together with the Centaur and the Ember.
On mid. Crit. Potentially in trouble again. He's able to bounce away with the sharpshooter. Nothing to say, trying to chase on. Final Remnant will do it. And we'll get Crit out of the mid lane.
It's a good kill. Can they get any emphasis on the tower? Ooh, Malrine, he'll find a free kill.
Sanking. Malrine Sanking in particular. I felt like, we've seen this story already 2 times. I believe we had the stat. He's managed to get it through 2 drafts, and he's had 2 fantastic games, both the times on it. Here we have him getting it again today. So far, 3-0-1.
He's cruising.
Crushing the timings here in this early game.
And
they better have a good plan to deal with him.
Yeah, and I think the plan is, right, that the Ember Mage Slayer, the pipe on the Centaur eventually at some points, but there's ways to build around that as well, too, with the Aghanims build that we do see, of course.
And he's just taking so much.
Time, and yeah, he's taking everything. And I have to point out, too, the other thing is, what's the first 2 picks that they did in this game for Falcons as well, too? They picked the Sanking, and they picked the Hoodwink to amplify it. The Boomerang is going to come out ASAP, and if Malrine is having a hot start, that Boomerang is going to be quite terrifying.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams in this competition would just not let Malrine get his hands on the Sanking, let alone, as you say, him getting his hands on the Sanking on top of Crit, getting that Hoodwink.
Yeah, it buffs it
very
up so
potent
much.
combo in the 2 of these players' hands. 4K lead. 25%
spell amp, so they'll have that pretty early on. Looks like he's queuing up the... Actually, he'll probably just rush it anyway. Illusion rune top, Malrine. That's a really nice rune for him to disengage. The only way he really dies at the moment is if he gets Slight Chains plus an AA Blast. He has Illusion to Dispel. Tybound is just, they're all about farming though here. So Bach is going for Vanguard after the Blade Mail. Playmaking is going to be extremely limited.
They're going to go for Shira under the tier 2. Nightmare will come in to just sort of break up the play.
Beautiful Nightmare.
Sat in position, ready and waiting for that move.
And they're smoking off that. So let's see if they can get a catch. They've got the AA Blast at the ready with the chains.
Might just find him up. Pretty dead hit. Chains into the Ice Blast, will attempt to skewer away. He'll use the RP to hold back the Ember. That might just save him. It's going to be close. It's Remnant coming up. The Ice Blast wore off, so Amar will survive.
Split second. The last tick wears off as he gets, and that's, I mean, little items. I always like to point them out, but.
Marine and Skeeter, they're going for Bach. I've got the Bushwhack as well to lock him down inside of the Sandstorm.
Wow.
Dead again.
Craziness. Yeah, little things, right? Double bracer on Amar, stick all these little stat items. It's literally what saves him there. 5K lead. The moves are starting to connect. And Skeeter, long in the days since he was having a struggle time. Morphling as well too, but he'll be able to get that increased far pace since they're starting to get a lot of map control again. All 3 tier 1s have dropped on.
And who's going to lead the plays on Typeout? I'm kind of concerned that the game might fall into a similar trajectory as Game 1, where it's just kind of like Shiro trying to farm and asking the teammates to not feed away too much.
But they also don't have anybody that's going to be going for too many of these plays because Bach is going for the double auras, and the Ember, it's pretty much just going to be the Ember, right? The Ember has to make every play.
Another kill here for Falcons, very likely, as Maureen catches White.
He does steal it, though. We'll be able to get that Shrine of Wisdom at the least. Pay with his life for it.
Going to push Amar very close to having his Blink Dagger. And that kill.
Yeah, definitely some concerns. I have the same feeling as you. I already did because of the Morphling factor. I'm not too sold on this hero at the moment in this tournament, but definitely some concerns with the game status, how it feels at the moment. I'm just watching all these camps block too. Tidebound wants to sit back and hit creeps, and just, yeah, 2 of their Ancient and their hard camp is blocked.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing right so far this game. Camps have been blocked, and Falcons, they've been stealing camps from Typeout as well.
And they've stacked more, right? Do we actually have a stack counter again by mid? If we have for a moment?
There we go.
There you go. 7 more stacks as well for them.
We have the chance to put some pressure onto the bottom tier 1, bringing in Shiro as well.
Showing all 3 cores. So they showed the Ember, the Centaur, and the Morph on this tower. But I like that move. I feel like they need to at least get one of these tier 1s, open up the map a little bit, because right now, yeah, they lost a ton of control losing their first 3 towers. Deep Vision already placed out also from the side of Falcons to perhaps look to pressure this top early on. Blink done for Amar. Halfway to Ags on Malrine. Feels like it's going to be a very passive style from Tidebound. And I don't know how much that's going to benefit from. It has to only be the Ember right now. Pretty much.
But then it's like the damage is unlikely to be there. It's relatively beefy cores on Falcons lineup.
Exactly.
Not an easy one here again for Tidebound.
Not at all.
Falcons definitely having the superior control in this game.
And Snaking, he can do this. He can just walk at them. He's done this so many times in these games as this annoying Enchantress. What are they going to do, blow an AA blast on the inch?
I have nothing to say. He's going to get caught. What was he doing, messing around with the Watcher? He's dead.
Uh-oh. I think they're feeling this pressure, I got to be honest.
It's been a bit of a rough one.
Like, the thing is, like, if Snake just runs in like this, right? Like, the only way you kill him is if you're blowing AA blast on him. And if you blow AA blast on him, you're not killing any of the cores. So it's information they keep gathering. They have this Deep Vision as well up top that they might even look to fight around. Shiro. Hold your breath.
Be careful. He's going to be careful. He's going to be careful.
He's got Bane behind him. It's max.
That's true. Well. Why can't break apart the sort of attempt to jump him?
They scout the ward. Snaking knows it's their planet. Will be able to kill out his courier. Smoke is out, so they are looking to make this play now. But I think it might have been seen by the ward behind the tower, no?
Yeah, it's so difficult to try and catch Falcons by surprise when they have wards like this.
They just know every single one of the moves.
Radiant are scanning.
They can maybe kill. The thing is, like, they can maybe kill one hero, but I just don't see them really killing.
They could maybe just throw everything down on Snaking. Oh, they'll throw the blast as well. They'll get something. It's something. Gets sort of the team morale up.
Yep.
We got to kill, boys. Easy game.
They need that morale. Shiro will be able to hit the mid tower also, and looks like in the meantime, a move is being made. Skeeter wants to kill Bach.
Uh-oh.
Farewell. But Skeeter
gotta be careful with the blade, man.
Be careful.
They've got their bushwhack into them. Sharpshooter. Stampede comes out. I tell you what, he's actually going to live.
They chained their stuns pretty poorly. He's not going to be able to survive because of it. And they have to back away. Skeeter has to be a little bit careful, but they're actually not going to find him there. Maureen up top. Smoke as he passes through. I don't think it was seen. Actually, it was. Just kidding. There's a board on both of the
Why?
Watchers.
Why? Going to be able to set something up. And look at these TPs coming in to back him up. Make sure they get this kill. They have the chains. He's got the RP Amar. Locks down a couple of them, but this time he won't be able to run away after.
His team is in the area. Malvine might look to go if they're not careful on Tiebound. Don't leave Shiro 2 alone. There it is.
And there's the jump. There with the bar strike. The bushwhack to follow up. Then Shiro dead.
They're right next to him as well, too.
Oh, they couldn't help him out that time.
It's a heads-up play, honestly, from Falcons, right? They expect them to kind of like disengage. They know they see a couple heroes move with that ward, too. They get Amar, but they lose their big boy. They lose Shiro, the important one. Yeah, Skeeter starting to get that clear differential between the two of them, 1,000 separation. Might even get another 500 to 1,000 gold between that point.
He's having a great time. Excellent early moves down to that bottom lane to really get Skeeter, you know, just his game in general, on track after they were able to bully and pretty much kill off Bart 3 times in that laning stage.
And for me, in this meta at the moment, too, Sven is a very scary hero.
Sven's great. Yeah, this hero is very, very strong.
More if I have a bit of question marks still, Sven is explosive.
Oh,
sure.
thanks.
The picks, I guess
Some of these players don't know what they're doing. It should be higher than that.
Production's like, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame the players that lose with this hero. You know,
no, but
this hero should be great because of this damage that you do when you hit stuns.
Yeah. It's explosive damage, and especially if you have the lineup that.
Yeah, that's a player issue. That win rate.
Anything else? Thanks, production.
Well, let's see what we get going next here. Aghanims coming out right now from Maori.
All right, it's a big one. Makes it that hybrid damage so that the pipe isn't going to be as effective, of course. Let's see what they get, though. Var still hasn't chosen what he wants to spend. He has 3,000 gold. He's saying he wants the Manta, but maybe switching it up for something else at some point. Maybe he does feel like he needs it. Or an Aghanims, honestly. Could still be the point of the game that he can't go for it. Falcons in position for this fight. The Tormentor...
Tiebound. They're gonna try and do it.
Oh, this is dangerous.
I do see Marin. So
West was wasted.
Tiebound can get back to finishing off the Tormentor, though. They'll get the Tormentor. Oh, there's
Can they get out?
Mark at the RP just onto Bark. They'll quickly take out Wire here with a Shockwave.
Little awkward.
So Tiebound, they got the shot. Can they get out though? Marin's in with the Burrow Strike. The Bushwhack to follow up. They got the catch locked down on nothing. Says not enough. Get the Essence Ring off. He'll live and Marin will fall. Shiro moves in to get the kill.
Skeeter, he's shown up on the south side. Looking to join.
They've got to respect the fact that the Sven's in the neighborhood. Jump forward from Amar. Good shot and Bushwhack. Bouncing over the planet. Now the jump force there from Skeeter will get held back for now by the Searing Chains and nothing to say. Shiro turning into the Sand King, trying to get away, but the Skewers there catches the two of them on the bar. Finishes off both planets. Shiro and Bar gets the triple. The stun comes out into the Bushwhack. Skeeter steps up and one swipe here with the God Strength to finish. Nothing to say off. The fight ends disastrously for Tiebound.
Was honestly a disrespectful moment there from Shiro. Walking in melee range to the Sven to Sandstorm? That was...
I mean,
they set themselves up for disaster. They're continuing to try to fight when the Sven's
did he get a right click in? Was he trying to just kind of get the blind on him?
I think he was trying to do that, but it's so risky, right? You put yourself into such a dangerous position.
Because at this point, it's like, all right, maybe Tiebound can kind of get something going here. Nothing to say survives that effort from Falcons. And they definitely felt that themselves, as you said, with Shiro trying to get back in.
But look at their resources, right? Look at Tiebound right now, and they know the Sven is coming in with absolutely everything. I thought that they were going to full bail, but they continued to try to fight in this area. And then watch Shiro, right? I think you're right? He tried to do the Sandstorm and tried to employ it, but he walked in at Caustic.
And Sandstorm was still cooldown.
So maybe I guess the cooldown caught him off guard. That's what it was. I didn't get to see that.
Yeah, he switched back in, and it was still like 1 second cooldown, so a little unfortunate.
Well, that's a very decisive moment there for Falcons.
Yeah, smiles here from Maureen. He's feeling good about this one. I mean, I think he's going to be feeling good since the draft because I think we might see teams just don't let Maureen get his Sankin. It is ridiculously good.
Honestly, either one of those. Bach.
He'll be fine. I'm having to use the Stampede to save himself.
Nothing to say. Amar. Can't quite reach. Amar did go for the BKB. He went for the safer route after that fight top. Maybe go for the Manta afterwards, but 11,000 gold lead now for the side of Falcons. As Skitter. Full BKB. He's massive. Level 18 now at this point versus Shiro is level 14.
Diamond. It's going to be a tough one for Shiro to carry.
Yet again.
Tougher than the last game was.
Way
of course, and that one wasn't quite able to do it on the Medusa. It's going to be even harder here for him on the Morphling.
This one he doesn't even have amplifies, right? He doesn't have Bloodlust like he did the last time. No Solar Crest either. While on the other side, the Sven has
Empower.
So he's living the dream. And he has, what, 4 different stunning heroes to amplify as well with Vanquisher.
Another kill for Falcons. His Wise caught in the river. Amplified damage rune at the ready as well for them here. Maureen will be able to bottle that up and have that ready for the next play. Typebound, they've pretty much got to stay hidden.
They're starting to completely just take over. Similar to that last time, like you said, but just worse, right, for Shiro. Because he does not have that. Last time he was the top farmer in the game by a good margin. This one he's behind, and his cores are behind, and his supports are behind.
And Maureen, it doesn't matter sort of how far away you are. He will find you.
The man knows.
Finds them every time, Maureen. Can't get anywhere close to the Sand King.
Why? He's trying to set a trap. This is a hard kill, though. It's a BKB on this Magnus. Nope. He can wake himself up.
I think Wise just got to run.
No, he doesn't even wake himself up. He just sends the Centaur after him.
Yeah, just wants to make sure there's no chance of Y going for like a Fiend's Grip follow-up.
That's true. TP's on cooldown.
Maureen's coming as well for Y.
Goodbye.
Y's looking pretty dead. Oh, well, Bow Strike does miss. Is he? Did they know he's... Yeah, they know where he is. Another one there for Falcons.
Just kill after kill after kill. Bach, Crimson Guard is finished. He's just not even queuing up Blink Dagger. He wants nothing to do with the Blink this game. Could potentially get caught down here too if he does show. Yeah, as tanky as they can be, there's a Sven. They're just not. They're not that tanky. Yeah. The Sven can go through pretty much anything.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when he has the Staveless. Like any of these targets, he jumps and like 4 or 5 hits, even the beefiest ones die. So much damage from Skeeter.
And then, yeah, he has what? Sand King stun.
So many stuns.
He has Hoodwink stun. Magnus ARP. Yeah, he's got always something to set up for that bonus damage. And the question is, for Tidebound is... I mean, the game plan is just kind of ruined in a way, right? You're now falling back to... It's just up to Shiro. Which is quite painful.
And just not an easy game for him to carry as a morph. I mean,
it's just when Falcons gets this type of advantage with the heroes that they're so comfortable on, it's rare to see them really slip up with it anymore.
No, they're very good at turning big leads into a big win. Takes their they take their time,
but
they get the job done.
They usually don't hemorrhage that many kills, right? Like it's 17-6. Last game was 14-4. And then at some point it was, what, 18-10 or something? Now I don't remember it. It was at 40-14 or something later on.
I don't know. It's getting pretty rough to watch, this one.
It's just everywhere. Anybody shows and they're dead. And there's no playmaking, as we said. There's just, honestly, there's just so limited playmaking from the early on with how things went down that the Ember doesn't want to make the moves.
Don't mind if I do. So Skeeter.
Yep, they stun.
Can take their wisdom away as well. Maureen shoving in the bottom lane.
BKB about to be finished. Trying to think what they can hang on and hope for. You know what I'm actually looking at? It's like Shiro has to start turning into Magnus, wait for him through, skewer them into the base. It started to feel like
maybe
they're out of hope unless it's some high ground throw. The Falcons discipline. that perhaps pretty soon. Maybe, okay, I mean, I want to always say, like, maybe this is the timing, right? The butterfly timing. Maybe this is when they try, because they're going to try to feel that strong, but
could still
he
die.
should just get cleaved to death as well.
Now maybe with the butterfly and the BKB.
Yeah, maybe.
The butterfly alone stunned into the magic damage, he'll die.
Let's see. Bop.
It's the Stampede. The Remnant's coming in as well. Typebound are going to try and chase for some there. Look at the Maureen. Look at the hoof stomp. Wait forward. Maureen getting caught low. They'll burst him.
It's a good kill. Very good kill. That's as his BKB was literally, I believe, about to be finished, so.
There's definitely something there for Typebound.
Yep.
Finally getting a big kill.
Can they turn it into something else? No, probably not. No Roshan on the bottom side, so. Turn up. Was 5 hero rotation to get the kill, but at least they do slow down Maureen.
To blink now on Wise, so a bit better of a chance to ensure that he is there to save someone.
Careful, Bop.
He's going pretty far on this bottom lane. Blade Mail's there in time. So Skeeter's got to be a bit careful, but now he's ready to commit with the BKB. RP comes out to look down Bart, but nothing to say, was able to dodge it. Gets over towards Crit, takes out the hook wing, and now Skeeter kind of getting kited here, and now with the grip up, they've got the control.
Okay,
Typebound. Another big kill here as they start to slowly strike back in this game.
Very fancy footwork, and the butterfly, okay, that is a timing that's definitely going to work this time. But also, I mean, nothing to say. That was so fancy. That little remnant that he did, the RP looked like he was going to catch him, but he plays onto the out of it, and Buck, the bait works. Yeah, they tip him.
We'll see this again. We'll see Bart, yeah, indeed, as you said, more than ready. Instant blade mail, which causes Skeeter to just have that bit of a slowdown on how quickly he can commit onto him. Has to put the BKB early in the fight to make sure he can kill him without doing too much damage to himself. And then at this point, the Falcons, as a team, were not ready to try and help Skeeter out any further. And Shiro gets in prime position with Wise control to take down that key target.
Little things matter. The hesitation to use the BKB immediately, perhaps maybe gets him killed there because he drops half HP. 30 seconds. Roche is going to shift down toward that bottom side, which is a much better side for the side of Typebound. And at big levels, right? Shiro now up to level 19, getting closer and closer to closing that gap.
Why will end up dying on his own.
Starting the Roche. But Falcons are in
surely
the area.
Falcons will do something about this. I don't think they're going to sit back and let Typebound have this one.
They have easy ways to get vision in the pin too with Crit.
I'm going to start poking. Yeah, this is risky for Typebound.
Yeah, this is way too risky.
Especially when you know the Epicenter's up, God Strength's back off cooldown.
RP soon up as well.
Yeah, you can't force this as Typebound.
And Snaking does have a fresh pipe, so that is going to block a fair bit of that damage that comes out from the Ember.
And Skeeter's leading in. Got eyes on Planet.
2-shot.
Couple of hits and he's gone.
Are they going to chase for kills or go for the Roche?
And if Maureen can get the blink, he's got it in a couple of seconds, but it would be under the tier 2, so maybe a bit too deep. Never mind, it's not too deep for Maureen. He's going for it. Forces out the Stampede. Did have to commit a BKB for that, though, Maureen.
I think they'll go Roche now, right? I'd imagine so. Maybe they were trying to force one extra ability before they do back up for it, but God's Strength's soon going to be ending.
Yeah,
they're smoked up. I mean, Typebound is coming over, so maybe they can't Roche.
Yeah, because they're going to have the AA back within 15 seconds. I'm sure they don't have Stampede, but as you mentioned, a couple of crucial cooldowns occurring at the moment for Falcons, so a little bit of a window maybe for Typebound.
Yeah, no God Strength for this fight.
They're going to catch Amar on the side. He's still got BKB and RP online for himself. They've got the Epic. He's in. There we go. Gets the catch. RP to follow up here on the two of them, but they're pretty tanky. Nothing to say, Buck. They're perfectly fine, and they're ready to turn. They'll look over towards Maureen. Maureen trying to scramble out of this one, but the grip's there. Wise got the control. Maureen's dead. Typebound finding a very, very nice moment to try and force that fight, and Falcons, they end up falling for it.
And now Box build is actually starting to really work. He's like, I'm not going Blink. They're jumping me. And he's showing his tankiness.
He doesn't die now. Yep. He's absolutely got to that stage, especially with the plate mail on top of this Crimson Pipe and Blade Mail. And this is going to be the Roshan for them. Typebound showing much more signs of a chance in this game as opposed to what we have from them in game 1 when they were behind.
Even at a 14 plus K deficit, too. This one's actually a higher gold lead at the early point here for Falcons, but Typebound showing their strengths here.
Slowing down that lead and starting to have it draw back towards themselves. See how much they can get done now with the Sages.
Lamar.
Mark. Oh, he
got
finds him.
He's got a skewer, and he's got BKB.
All right, backup's on the way. Lamar.
Blink in 3, 2.
I mean, he's hard to chase. This should be a bit too slippery. Yeah, they won't want to spend any more time chasing. So Omar gets out.
And they get the Tormentor in the meantime. Malrine will actually get that shard. Very strong on that man. Sand King. How's the timing for Shiro? Is he getting closer and closer to the BKB? It does still feel like he really needs it for the whole 5v5 fights. But having this Aegis coverage should be able to let him farm it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? He's not going to die in these next few minutes.
Which is really important. And I think Y probably just sits around and follows him for the rest of this time.
Yeah, as long as he's ready to blink in, throw in a Nightmare, high chance that should be enough to give Shiro the chance to at least survive and run.
Yeah. He did get, Tumbler's Toy, and he's got an Aether Lens, and he got the greedy Tumbler's Toy too, so he should get a fair bit of farm actually on this Bane, so keep eyes on Innocence to see if he's going to be able to farm an Aghanims at this point, or at some point in this game too. Now that they've gotten things to slow down a little bit here.
Still, of course, quite the deficit they're playing against Typebound, and with any sort of passive moments, the
V grows.
It really does. Falcons are able to get that much more out of the map still.
They're also having to hug each other quite a bit here. You see literally 4 heroes following Shiro. Even the Ember Spirit had a remnant behind. Speaking of the Ember, full Shiva is now finished up. I think his progression has gotten pretty good. Aghanims plus that Shiva, plus he has that Mage Slayer to apply the damage reduction, as we saw being massive in the fight down bottom. Bit of a pivot, as we see. Amar going for a Hex.
I mean, I like it. Very good against both the Ember and the Morph, right?
Yeah, both the main cores.
Gives you that quick catch and chance to trip them up.
Because I think twice now, or two times or so, there's been a little bit of a slight dodge in terms of the RP connecting. Snaking.
Slowly but surely find him, and then we'll have to use the grip to go for this.
Yeah, it might take a little time, but they'll have him. Pace is this slow, and it's snaking. He's very pesky, it's worth that. Protect their shrine. What did he buy actually and why? Did he go for the blink? He went for Staff, okay. Either way, that's similar when he has Tumbler's Toy. He can Tumbler plus Force and get into position to be able to bail his teammates out of bad scenarios with Nightmare, or get that long Fiend's Grip that we saw from earlier.
Shiro, ready to aggressively use this last minute and a half of the Aegis.
This is cool. Very aggressive.
That's pretty crazy there, you know, because he's giving the game a 50-50 pretty much, despite the fact that Falcons have this 16k lead. So Dota Plus definitely believing in the potential of Shiro's Morph.
Butterfly Morphling versus that Sven with Lacus and the True Strike. Not anymore. MKB's finished up. And damage also in the bottle. I'm gonna say can be really painful actually with his remnants that he can use, as long as he's got enough of them. Skeeter's about to hit 25, so he could have that extra God Strength damage as well. If he's able to actually attack, it's going to be very explosive, but they do have some cutting factors. But 50 seconds, that's probably the timing that Falcons is going to wait for. I see 100% win rate on Sven.
Oh, there we go. Skeeter, there's no player issue with Skeeter. He knows how to use this hero.
Crit for Shiro, level 21 as well. Oh, and did also, I should have pointed this out, but the Sven does have the serrated shift too, so does have that
crazy damage when you get him with that God Strength.
Yeah. Aghanims, the next one on the horizon. I was waiting when he was going to queue this one up. Bach, he did end up going for the Blink Dagger now at some point too, to have to follow up. But yeah, that Aghanims, that's going to probably be the biggest item for them in terms of being able to protect Shiro when he doesn't have BKB available.
Yeah, just making sure that, kind of ultimately, that the Sven can't get the right clicks on him.
All right, Aegis reclaimed. And a full E-Blade for crit as well. So fair bit of... He actually also did get the Whispers of the Dread with Mystical, so he got the Dream for the cast range and spell amp on himself. Something you can't write off. The burst from this hero with E-Blade and Boomerang, I actually don't have the exact numbers on it, but it is absurd. Look at like 1485 plus the amp from the E-Blade plus the... like, yeah. So, can be potential for killing supports pretty easily.
No, definitely got to watch out if they ever want to try and go on Bark, though. He does get the Pyrrhic Cloak.
He could just kill him.
So, yeah, whoever he puts that on, if Bark's getting hit.
That's a good call. How many... do they have Dispels? The supports don't have Dispels. So if he actually just sees one of them and he puts Pyrrhic Cloak on them...
Enchant will remove it, right?
What do you mean?
Oh, no, sorry. Is it
Dispel
on your allies, right? So, yeah, you can't Dispel.
You
Yeah,
need, like,
you can't, yeah. They have no ally Dispels.
Yeah, when you're support, you need, like, a Yule's or something just to be able to ensure that that Pyrrhic Cloak doesn't just kill you if he clicks it on you, but...
So pretty much just don't hit the Centaur.
Yeah.
Unless you're kind of happy with one of your teammates dying for Pyrrhic Cloak.
Yes. All right, there's the Ags. Tybad might be the ones to look for the fight themselves with this, even at this deficit. Might not be the easiest fight, but...
No.
Refresher, Maureen.
And refresher for Amar.
Oh, wow. Okay, their team fight just got pretty terrifying. Did he get the Dazoon on the he did not get the Dazoon on the Sand King, but he got the Dazoon on the Magnus.
I mean, having the refresher and the Hex, like, Amar's massive. Double Hex, double RP, lots of big plays that Amar can look for.
Yeah, I guess he just got rid of the Dominator, right? I was like, how did he get so much gold so fast? That makes sense. He sold the item, so... because he had just finished up the Hex, and Falcons, they're going to look for a timing.
Yeah, this next fight's going to be scary. There's two newly picked up refresher orbs on Falcons.
2 refreshers, MKB Skitter, and level 25. And the E-Blade on crit. While on the side of Tiebound, they picked up the crit on the Morphling.
This is going to be a real challenge for Tiebound, this fight. Shiro has to play this perfectly and clean up.
And Bach has to save him. Bach has to be there with that workhorse.
Yeah, Bach or Y, whether it's sleeps or workhorses, they have to make sure that this morph gets to freely play the fight.
They placed the Ice Vortex was placed in the mid lane, so they know that they're making a move. Snaking.
It's going to be found at the front of it. They're going to try and burst it. Quickly, but Amar! He's in with the RP, catching the two of them. Mosquito's ready to come in with the full damage. The workhorse pick him up. He picks him up just in time. Shiro will live for now, but he's already so low. He's down here in the sandstorm. They'll be able to hold back Skeeter with the searing chains. Shiro turns into Sven. He's ready to turn around and cut Skeeter down.
They actually get the disengage.
That was a little close. That pickup from the workhorse coming just in time from Bach, as Shiro, he was literally one hit away from dying.
He almost didn't get it in time.
Yeah, he did a sort of panic as he was driving around. Anyway, the fight continues. Amar gets another skewer back on towards Bach. Bach's still very tanky. Impetus is coming in though. Bach.
Next epi.
Last hit won't kill him off, but the Burrow Strike to close the gap into the epi will. As Bach gone, Planet also to be left behind here by Tiebound. Another skewer from Amar seals the deal. Jump forward for nothing to say. Sees the chance to get back in, kill off crit. But Amar, he's not done. A second RP's at the ready. Locks down the Ember. Burrow Strike followed with the sleeps there. Comes in from Y. They're forced to the side. They're trying to get around with the skewer again from Amar. Clips onto the two of them. Amar puts the BKB. But Shiro's ready to get back in on the action. Cleans up the Magnus. Ice Blast connects in on towards the two of them.
They wanted to go for Maureen, but might have to try for Snail, or might even just get neither off of that. Woo! That was buybacks coming out from Tiebound, though.
Just Planet, right?
No, nothing to say. Nothing to say earlier. Yeah. I didn't get a fight recap either. There we go. Yeah, so, I mean, look at all the spells there used from nothing to say. It was absolutely crucial that he did use that buyback to get that extra chase out. Yeah, they killed Skeeter at this pretty early on.
They did. It's brilliant. That workhorse. Bach saving Shiro, allowing him to live and then turn around and kill the Sven. And coming in here just in time.
Shiro. Pushing the limits here. A little dangerous. The Sven was coming back up pretty soon. They might chase out here. He has to be careful. He's going to back up and be safe. Okay. Woo. Heavy buybacks, right? It was a big fight there from Falcons, displaying multiple different item pickups. The Tiebound do hang on. It does cost them. It's very expensive, having to use these two. But Shiro has now been able to claim himself top net worth in the game, getting closer and closer to 25. And might even be able to get the Roche. Still 18 seconds, no Magnus.
Yeah, that's big.
The Roar is going to come out.
Falcons, they could look to try and threaten this, so they've got the God Strength back on Skeeter. Shiro's scared of that. He's got backup. If they make the jump on Shiro, Y will be able to bail him out.
Scan is there.
Snaking, poking for some sort of reaction. Amar back in the game. We'll see if we can get over quick enough. Roshan's falling pretty fast. Snaking into the pit. Shiro just ignoring him. Trying to finish off the Roshan. Ice Boss coming in. Marin hits the jump to the side. He closed the gap here on the two of them. BKB's out just in time on Shiro before the Stormhammer connects. Bark picks him up. He's ready to take him out of there. Skeeter's BKB's about to come to an end. They've got to try and get him out because Bark's ready to bring Shiro back into the action. Falcons have to step back.
Shiro has no BKB for this fight.
Same to be said here for Skeeter. Amar still with his, and very soon to have the 2 RPs ready to go again. 10 seconds.
This Roche is super low.
And Maureen ready to press Refresher and come in with another Epicenter if necessary. So indeed, just sort of Skeeter that's not going to have the full potential in this next play. And Taiban, they know it. They want to try and go. For themselves, the key crucial timing being that 60 seconds still on the BKB for Shiro.
50 seconds, no God strength. He's still going to hit hard on the Sven, though, because he's got this in power, but Roshan roars.
But does, of course, have Workhorse backup. So again, the saves are there for Shiro.
They are there. Watching nothing to say on the sideline, too. If he can stop any of these blink daggers.
Tiebound, they should be able to get the space to finish this Roche. Buck holding back Amar. Shiro can finish the Roshan, get that Aegis secured. Buck got the Workhorse out. Skeeter be able to run in. In fact, they get the control in. Skeeter's trying to turn up, and his BKB is still on cooldown for 25 seconds. Skeeter's dead.
He walked in. He just literally walked in. I guess he expected that his team was going to go for Bach, but the team complete discoordination.
Oh.
Tidebound.
Yeah, continuing. I mean, pretty much for this entire, last 10 minutes or maybe 15 minutes, they've been like 16, 17K behind, but the fights haven't looked like that.
No.
Tidebound outplaying Falcons in a multitude of scenarios.
And Skeeter spent his gold. He bought the Swift Blink looking to join back in for this fight and then just dies immediately. Can they get this push going again?
Things, last game weren't really falling into place around Shiro's Medusa, but this game around Shiro's Morph, they very much are. The saves have been fantastic, and Shiro, knowing that he's got this sort of backup behind him, has been able to just have such a high level of threat in these team fights.
Ice Blast coming through to scout the high ground.
Get the jump. X. With the drag back of the Scuba Bart, ready to head over and take him out with a Workhorse. This is going to continue to happen.
There's no glyph.
How do you stop this duo? It's such a low cooldown as well. 24 seconds on the Workhorse. It's always going to be there to help Shiro out. And it's coming from a hero. Sometimes these sort of saves, right, they come from some sort of squishy support. This game is coming from a Centaur with 4,300 HP. You can't go on. You can't stop him. He will be there to take the Morphling out of danger.
I think we'll be seeing this more and more as the tournament proceeds. Just having this insane save for these super carries is just incredible. Shiro about to have Satanic now too, so even better options for him to be able to stand his ground versus the Sven. Yeah, so far I think the last 2 or 3 fights, actually maybe even more than that, we've seen Skeeter not really be able to do what he wants to do.
What's going on there? But Satanic's built. That was just taking the mask out of the Vlads.
Yeah, and Planet overall again on this AA, he's actually been able to land some really nice, like not even just connecting with the blast, but just like a passover of the blast, just to be able to prevent anything from them. So a very impressive comeback this time around so far.
Because what is going to be the play from Falcons? What are you doing against this? Because it's been very clear the last few times how these fights have been an issue due to the fact that they can't go on the Morph, and they can't really find a way to go on the heroes that are saving the Morph. Like, what the Falcons have to do to get the fights going back in their favor?
Somehow have to just have Skeeter have a better time overall. I think he's the one that's having the more difficult time, if anything. Maybe just try to catch, I don't know, maybe you have to deal with Bach, but how do you kill the Centaur?
I mean, that's the thing, right? The save coming out from your 4,500 HP offlaner, that's a problem. How do you stop that?
I mean, maybe he does become a higher priority kill, though, because if you prevent the Workhorse, you absolutely can just go for the kill.
But how do you prevent it? It's like...
Yeah, but
he's so tanky.
And now at this point, too, they have this Aegis coverage, Satanic Shiro. They're getting this wraparound.
Why?
Amar, he can't get out. Heads up stuff. The gold lead is all just, totally gone. There is no more lead in, pretty much. Crit. Sneaky position, but can't get anything out of it. He actually has this ward here to play around, but he'll TP out. Shiro is set up for success this time, and this is without the buffs, right? I guess the buffs don't matter. It's the workhorse.
Yeah, the buff is the save.
Yeah. Maureen has it 25. The chaos is still there, right, in these fights. They do still have to be careful of positioning on the side of Tidebound, but honestly, they've done a great job with their positioning in these last 3-4 fights. Time and time again.
See if they want to try and poke on for more here, Tidebound. There's 50 seconds, no MR, and they've still got
a minute in the Aegis.
Lead time on that. So
looks like they probably will.
High ground's looking kind of appealing.
Ice Blast to Scout. It'll clip over Malrine.
Looking at Shiro. Nothing to say, he's going to make the jump into the base of Buck. It's full of Who's Stomp onto Snaking, but the heals are pumping out.
Rax is falling.
Marine's keeping in on the side. Shiro's trying to finish off the objective.
Malrine.
And he's going to fight him. Shiro quick with the moves there. Turns into the tank. He used the burst strike against him. Malrine will get the BKB off. That's enough to force out the buyback, though, from Amar.
That vision they have on the side there, placed from the Bane, can just prevent Malrine from doing much of anything. The two supports there actually being very disruptive. An Ice Blast passes over, prevents the Blink Dagger for 20 seconds, and then the Bane enfeebles him and just has vision of him too. Just not letting Malrine play. Another God Strength expended. It's going to be on cooldown for 60 seconds. Couldn't find kills. 25 has been hit now for the Morph.
Now looking to get rid of the treads. Get that Swift Blink. Overwhelming Blink is going to be next on the menu for Bark. Also closing in on 25.
He is having, such a good game now at this point. And yeah, it's definitely feeling a lot harder for the side of Falcons to just get these connections. It just seems like they don't have the answer for the Centaur now, as Bach is just posturing himself forward. Bach, he's actually making the move. Crit.
Gonna find Crit.
Whoop, a lot of dodges there.
Down. Amar's got to be careful also. He goes back up to the high ground. Marine's thinking about going with the epicenter. He's going to make the jump here. He gets the connection over towards Shiro. He's going to put the refresher as well. Follow-up burst strikes enough to take down YMR. Comes in with the RP, catches the two of the Mosquito. He's in with the follow-up damage in on top of the big target. It's enough to kill Shiro off. They take down the Morph. They'll turn over to nothing to say. Malrine again with the burst strike, locking down another.
Malrine jumping forward into the back.
He went for it in such a risky spot, or a seemingly risky spot as well, but Malrine making the call that when it's time to go, it's time to go. And starts off the action. Gets things falling back in favor of Falcon.
Maybe Tidebounding there getting a little overzealous themselves. They go for crit, they get the kill, they push forward, then Malrine just gets this beautiful double stun, and the Bane is dead for 60 seconds. He actually spent his gold.
Now, good call as well. Just
to buyback before.
Sort of immediately use that refresher just to get that second burrow strike off straight away on the Bane. They had to make sure that the Bane gets nothing off. And Malrine did that very, very quickly.
And this time it's when they can actually get that connection with that RP, with the cleave. Skeeter's actually able to attack for once.
And Malrine just going to let Crit get the shrine. Prioritize him getting his 25 online as well.
Don't think we'll see them use Workhorse in that function ever again. I think they'll never use it again for an aggressive play. This could just see how the tower is actually able to deal with the miss rate.
They're going to have a bit of a window where God Strength's going to be back up and Tidebound won't have the full lineup respawning quite yet.
8,000 gold, 9,000 gold gained also from Falcons in these last few moments. And Drax is...
They could keep bringing in the damage here, but they don't want to use the buybacks here, Tidebound, with how short the respawns are now.
Use the glyph.
So if they can stick around and finish with the second Malrine's thinking about making the jump in. Jump forward from Buck, but BKB's there for Skeeter. He wants to finish off the job. Amar gets him with the Hex. He gets the track match Skewer in. Over towards the two of them. That's going to be Y-Gone. Buck pushing forward. Shiro turns into Sven. Has the stun to use against Skeeter, but the defensive E-Blade comes in onto Skeeter. Gives him the chance to continue to run. E-Blade will now come to an end, though. Skeeter's in trouble. Left behind. They'll kill off the Sven, and now nothing to say. He's ready to chase him for more. Gets the slide chains in on towards Crit, but Crit's actually able to TP out. Snaking, he'll be the one to fall. So they'll get the 2 kills. They do have to come out with that buyback from Y.
They got the Rex.
And indeed, the damage has been done to the base. They lose 2 sets of barracks here, Tidebound.
Y ends up using his buyback at the end of the fight there also to join in. Wasn't maybe needed, so for the next fight, he could die and not be into it. But a great jump there. Bach seizing opportunity of jumping in and looking for a target. Look at his damage.
Yeah, I think
Centaur was the carry there.
Yeah. I imagine some of that maybe coming out with the Pyrrhic cloak. He might have got that.
I think so. Pyrrhic and a blade.
That's big damage.
Some reflected.
Roshan.
That's ideal.
Tidebound.
A quick timer for Tidebound to be able to get into that pit and get this Aegis coverage. big ultimates is having that Aegis or something for Shiro. Ooh, and Refresher Shard too, so Bach has multiple different ways to play around saving him. Could actually just save him twice or 3 times. 40 seconds. Back the other way we go. Ooh, okay. They passed the Refresher Shard over to nothing to say. That actually makes a lot of sense when he's got the Axe build. He can cause so much havoc in this backline as December now.
Shiro's ready to hit the base. Oh, Janamar! The Hex setup drags him back. Forces out reaction. They'll get the RP just down onto Bar.
Maureen in the back, he's gripped.
There's any way to help him. Shiro turns into tanking, uses the burrow strike against Maureen. Maureen dies for that.
He's gone. Skeeter?
Got strength there. BG takes out the bait. Buyback comes out now from Maureen. Taipan, they have to respect this. Backing away. Shiro very low, but of course has the safety of the Aegis. Jump in and out for nothing to say. Amar unable to get his hands on him. Another remnant gets him out of there, nothing to say. Is incredibly slippery. Can they get him with any sort of opening stun? Another jump in and out. Nothing to say. Dancing around them. Skeeter, he'll be owning the BKB and the healer. Back up to full HP. Stun onto the two of them. They've caught by nothing to say. And Planet will fall, but nothing to say. Able to jump out with the safety of the Eon Disc. The Hex is there though from Amar. Murray steps over. RP comes out. Locks down the two of them. Skeeter brings in the damage. There's nothing to say. Gone. Whosto comes down on a Skeeter, but the bushwhack connects in onto Shiro. They take the Aegis out of the hands of the Morph, but Skeeter will die. Buyback coming in now from Bark. Snaking, caught outside of the base. Amar, no buyback available on him. We'll see the buyback come out from both Snaking and Skeeter.
Holy shit. All right. Small dodges. He dodged the RP, I think, initially, but then too many stuns to follow through. But now all the buybacks coming in. Amar is the big one that doesn't have it available. So much expended here. Shiro, he's the biggest one also left with buybacks. He did have that Aegis coverage. He's still available to fight twice. Skeeter, God Strength cooldown for 10 seconds. This is going to be huge next moments here for Shiro. Him having this buyback advantage over Skeeter. What a crazy fight, too. So many stuns as we see coming in from Falcons with the buybacks from Tidebound. Just being able to get into the fray and having those numbers with the Morph and the Ember just makes the difference at the end of it all.
This is going to be a big one for Skeeter next.
Refresher.
So he doesn't have the buyback, but he has to refresh him. And we are seeing it when he has the BKB and the Ghost Strength up. They've got to be so careful about just kiting him and keeping their distance.
I mean, the stuns,
Shiro included.
The stuns are a problem, right? We see it anytime that there's a two-man stun, it's like, uh-oh, are they just going to potentially just die immediately because of it? I think Nothing to Say got bailed out from the first one from his Aeon Disc, but then ends up getting caught from the RP and ends up dying. Falcons inside their base.
Can Tidebound do anything before this 20 seconds where Mars in the game?
Big Ice Blast coming forward to give information. See if they go on the connection.
Refresher orb out on Nothing to Say.
Here we go. It's the blast.
It's a good connection.
It's a nice connection.
That's the 3 of them. Have to hold back a little bit. Popping the fortification here to try and hold on to these barracks. As they wait those final few seconds for Amar to be back in the game.
Looks like they'll back up after that. Full refresher orb now on him. They're using that refresher shard in the last fight.
Yeah. Still, of course, going to be very careful about trying to approach the high ground because they themselves on Tidebound still having those 3 buybacks also on cooldown.
I mean, Gaben knew, right? The 50-50.
We're getting that. We're getting it this game. Not many of these games go 60 minutes, get there when it's kind of around or less than a 1k gold difference. Pretty crazy stuff though.
Really impressive stuff, really.
I mean, well, last time around, what was happening in game 1 at this time? It was like a 50k lead or something.
Yep.
1k gold difference between these two teams.
Getting closer and closer to 60 minutes, so 3 minutes until we do get these insane items that can be pretty crazy in this game in terms of a Morphling and Sven. If they get the Helm of Undying,
that's the big one.
We could see some pretty disgusting stuff for this game. Smoke up, looking to take advantage here, since they have the number advantage. Morphling can die and buy back and rejoin.
Sure.
Falcons does not have the luxury of any buybacks. No gold on a mark for it.
They're going to fight Maureen. They're coming with the trees. He's able to get out now with the Eon Disc and the BKB.
He can. That is the BKB from Shiro used.
So I think they're going to be chilling, just waiting for these buybacks. Even though they know that Falcons also have these buybacks on cooldown, I think it's just a little bit too risky for Taiban to try and go for the high ground play, whilst they don't have their own.
I mean, Falcons, they have a smoke, and they do have extra BKBs for Malorine. He can refresh, have a secondary one on top of the effort. Shiro does not have BKB right now, so this could be a little bit of a scary position for him, how he wants to join the fight. But does have buyback, so. Falcons stepping outside of it. Amar trying to farm his buyback, but he's still very far away from it.
Amplify damage. Manages to quickly grab that.
No risk.
And they don't really have the luxury of making sure that Skeeter's the one to grab that. And even if he did, they're not too hungry for a fight right now, Falcons. Whilst they don't have the key buyback, Skeeter or Marines available for the next 3 or so minutes.
Man, these distant ice blasts have been very obnoxious from Planet this game. He has been canceling blink daggers, he's been scouting, giving excellent information so far. So I can absolutely see why he wanted to play it a second game if we get to these 60-minute marks. So much impact that he's able to have. Even if he's not getting the connection of, like, killing targets with it, it is very annoying. Both teams prepping in their specific areas for this 60-minute mark. How is Y doing? He is getting close to this Aghanims. There is a lot of things that can kill his illusions and all these different things, AOE. But it still is a pretty impactful one if you're ever able to get it.
Radiant are scanning.
Shiro. And where does he sort of go now with his build? 7,300 gold at the ready, of course. Does want to keep for buyback, but on top of that, has 3,000 gold ready to spend up.
30 seconds.
Taiban might try and get in this high ground triangle area of Falcons around that. Perhaps try and push them off from being able to farm easy tier 5 neutrals.
Bit dangerous. If it
Oh my god, I turned off the fucking... I did not know. Fuck. Okay then. I have no idea. I mean, I guess I turned it off like
So maybe that's gonna be
a long time ago.
We'll see what they end up getting.
Gets the chance to. What do we got for Shiro? Put in the Divine Regalia, right? Divine Regalia and either Timeless or Audacious.
Yeah.
No, sorry, not Timeless. I mean Audacious or maybe Evolved.
Yeah, Evolved. Evolved is a safe one. He's going safe.
40 more minutes for today, and I'll stream tomorrow morning. 2 more minutes, and I'll be done of this week. And I'll definitely stream the next week as well, but after that I'm not sure at all. Like, things are getting kind of tough, so to speak.
Spider legs on Mar. He's got debuff amplification, so timeless spider legs. That RP, those hexes are gonna last a very long time. Marine choice. Yep. Fallen Sky with cast range for him and H&F range. Minotaur horn plus timeless.
I imagine Plant does take that to undying, right? Because it'd be kind of nice that even if you manage to kill him, you still have to get the save off. Okay, option full sky.
Look at his HP. perfect execution at this point. Who's going to get the jumps? Who's going to have the better vision? Which carry's going to get one-shotted potentially?
What's the buyback situation?
It's starting to all come back up.
Yeah.
Everyone but Skeeter.
Do you want to fight this?
They can see a good if they have good information.
I'm going to find nothing to say. And this jump towards him, he's going to get out. This block will keep him alive.
He's out of pressure as well, too, so he can't look to have it again.
I think Falcons, they just got to bail on that. Fighting out on the map in TA just seems kind of spooky.
Yeah, it really is just truly the tensest moments possible here. Planet getting closer and closer to 25. Knife set in this game. Who's going to take the opportunity to go for these jumps? Skeeter, 400 goes for the buyback. We're definitely in position for some 10v10 trade here. 12 fight.
Watch out for these buying as well. And in just in terms of sort of ways for them to get back up, because obviously nothing to say had that buyback into Remnant, but outside of that, nobody has any thoughts, right? Oh, no, there's two on the left. That's it. At the moment, right? Not anything on Skeeter yet. So a little easier for Tidebound to quickly return to an aggressive fight.
No one can. So I've seen multiple times in this game too that these Aeon discs are failing to pull out. Nobody really has the spot for a nullifier this game, from what I'm seeing. Like nobody really wants to purchase it. No one wants to sacrifice it up and down. Those Aeons are going to continue to perhaps bail people out of those very scary situations. I just don't know. There you go. Now you can start farming while you're playing Sap at 65 minutes.
There's 25 online as well. Yep, very, very close to that.
You need to get that duration and literally last
Here comes the smoke. It is into the Aegis, refresher shard and cheese.
Shields are on Skeeter. Shiro. Nothing to say.
Straight away with the Hex and the Horn toss of the Dragon Back. They get the RP down as well. On towards the two of them. That's going to be nothing to say. Go on, Bark will pick up Shiro for now. Got nothing to say. Has the luxury of buyback if he wants to. Bark, make the jump. There's the buyback coming in for nothing to say. Skeeter getting controlled for now by the chains. Powering ready to jump back in. Gets over the epicenter burrow strike over.
Where the fuck is the Morphling?
Second BKB, the Ghost Strike. He's going to turn over the walls. Push Shiro out back with the grips there.
Oh, there he is.
Through the BKB, and now Tidebound ready to go for more. Jumping over to a Snakey crit. Somehow again able to TP out of the fight, but Snakey gets blasted by the adaptive strike there from Shiro. A risky fight to look for there, Falcons, and it does not pay off.
No, Tidebound just own this fight. The RPs come out, it doesn't matter. He can stand his ground easily on this Morphling. Nothing to say dies, but he's able to do it again and again. He dies and comes right back into the fight. So they have the numbers instantly to be able to address it.
Tidebound doesn't get on the push now, but I say just.
This is a little awkward too, right? Skeeter jump low ground, and he happens to get to spend 3.5 seconds to get to the position to hit the target. So
Yeah, the move from Amar works out quite nicely because he does screw him back and get that two-man RP on both Shiro and nothing to say. Just I get the sort of communication not completely in sync there with how they make that jump. That makes it a bit awkward at the start. And that's not all it takes then for Tidebound to just have a chance to turn. Yeah, why? Getting a beautiful Fiend's grip off onto Skeeter, giving Skeeter no chance to fight with that second round of BKB in the Godsend.
and Skeeter, he's still dead for 60 seconds. Yep. With this push, he doesn't have refresher or God strength.
Oh, yeah,
he knows.
frustrations. That was a rough way for that fight to go down for Falcons.
It really was probably the worst way it could have happened, right? Blinking on low ground as he skewers them to the house. So
Why do you feel the Falcons felt the need to go for that sort of move when I feel like traditionally we see Falcons be a very patient and wait for the very, very surefire moments to make that sort of play? That was a risky one to go for.
maybe just starting to feel that pressure as well, too, or feeling that they are strong. I mean, they are very strong. The Falcons not landing perfectly, right?
Trying to go in on Shiro, but again, Shiro still has the luxury of BKB and the Aegis.
I do too. I think he dodged the majority of that damage there. Split second onto Shiro.
A few seconds until Skeeter's back up. Aaron continues to try and slow down the push. Park's ready to go and pick him up here in the car, providing the safety to finish off that top set of barracks. Gonna make a good out. Amar tries to get Shiro back, not gonna work while Shiro's inside of the car.
Damage is done.
Up against the Mega Creeps Falcons.
Up against the Mega Creeps, up against Shiro, you start to consider if he wants to swap anything around to 12,000 gold. He's going to eat the boot shard. Everyone's starting to get these critical mass points as well. Block of cheese still on Bach. What's he going to get? He gets 7,000 as well. Hasn't spent yet.
of Falcons. Marine, BKB about to come to an end. He also having to put the refresher to have a chance to live and survive with that second round of the Eon disc. Crit dead.
Got by. They used one of the RPs and one of the BKBs. I think they used one of the EPIs, one of the BKBs, and one of the God Strengths and one of the BKBs. Tiebound, they used quite a lot. But they still have nothing to say with the majority of spells. Looks like he's gonna try to poke forward. AA Blast, catch the horse.
Yeah, they're gonna be annoying. It's gonna be safe for Shira to stop being on the field. There's the buyback from out for crit. Jump forward straight away. Shira's gonna be able to cover the BKB tag. Takes it over towards Marine, who's able to deal with the backlines. Kill off one. Now looking over towards Bob.
I don't understand. Okay, let's just watch a little bit of Dojo.
BKB ready to press if he feels necessary. Shiro focusing the 2-4s down. Bushwhack will lock him down momentarily. Jump forward for nothing to say. Continues to poke Skeeter. Keep him low. Shiro trying to end the game. Focusing the Ancient. They've killed off Maori. Maori's got the buyback. The Fear's going down for Skeeter. Skeeter's got the buyback available. Coming about now from both the cores. Skeeter and Maori.
Skeeter can't play. He was just running back and forth for 10 seconds in that team fight. He literally didn't hit a single target, and then walks up and gets feed script and just dies. These ice blasts are just flying in every off cooldown. It's clipping them, stopping their blink daggers. Very pesky.
Last game, sort of at a similar minute, we saw Falcons being able to slowly but surely close the victory up. This time may just be the other way around. It just takes a bit more of a poke.
Oh my god, really?
Left on them. They still have ice blast debuff on them, and another ice blast is about to be sent from planet. Here it comes. It's just constant.
The Ancient Apparition is just spamming ulti base to base. Oh my god. Such a menace, holy shit.
Ice blast flying over the top. That's very difficult to play against.
Refresher Shira now. It's pretty much getting to the point where you can just kind of BKB, switch link in refresher, do it at the same time and close the game.
They can just end it.
It's going to be so hard to stop from just ending the game.
He doesn't have to be right. He just put the card.
Yeah, he's true. Just getting the card. They're on the ride home.
I think they should go for that.
To move forward to game 3.
270 plus minute games. Marine.
Marine's going to get the jump. Burns on the 3. We'll see them go straight for the Ancient. He's just looking to close it. The RP will come out. Skinner bringing in the damage. Shiro, can he live through this? He can't. They get him. The card didn't come in time.
And a
Bug's dead.
They didn't have their centaur.
Shiro, he's going to try and get him. The Hex is there.
Shiro.
People back for this.
Shiro.
The RP is in the fountain. They'll be able to force him out just in time. The Ice Blast will hold back the 3 of them. Shiro should be able to close this up. He's on to the Ancient. They'll get the win. We're going to a game 3, boys and girls here.
Pretty cool, I guess. Wow. Okay. Wow. What?
Okay.
Thank you very much for today. There's two things I want to take from that. First, if you can back tanking, or you can try to play against it, especially what type of chose this time around. But it kind of feels like you have to pick
with the Morphling last pick just remain in the pool. So it definitely plays a big part.
I think that can also be something to be said for maybe first pick is better for the first couple of days, but teams will realize that and they'll try to adapt and figure out how do we actually draft from second pick, because we are going to be drafting from second pick half the time probably, right? So I think, you know, teams figuring out which heroes to pick early and which heroes to follow up with, like building themselves with potential flex heroes, or I mean, we saw them first pick Centaur from second pick, like as their first pick, and that's kind of uncommon, but it worked out really well, and you kind of see why. So I think there's also something to be said for that. But yeah, I mean, both games were insanely close, right? So
yeah, and it's also to be said that with that Centaur, we talked about even two other heroes they could have paired up instead of that Morphling with the TA and the Medusa that were still in the pool. So wasn't even, there were still plenty of options left. It wasn't necessarily the Morphling that, well, obviously was a good choice, but there were others available still. Very curious to see how Game 3 will play itself out. Of course, both of these two teams are playing to win this series, and with that, get that slot in the playoffs of the International. The losing teams, not eliminated, but will head to the elimination round, which is going to prove to be very scary with the caliber of teams that is in there. But we'll see which one of these teams will be on the happy side of things as we are in the draft. Game 3, we got Falcons on first pick, Tidebound Dire, and overall last pick, second pick. So it's exactly the same as what we saw previous game. And in terms of bans, let's take a look. So far, it's still the same. I'm wondering when we're going to see the adaptation coming in, as we are already seeing...
oh my god.
That little bit of extra time to think about that ban, but so far...
I'm curious about the next ban. Looking at that currently, and if I'm banning Furia as well, it's a lot of the heroes that speed up the game, like make it, you know, Chen, Monkey, they kind of notorious for being a lot of towers, fast, they must be money. But yeah, it's like both banking and taking the little money down. Now it's just
very scary in game number 1, so they beat out in
Of course, all that here. Anyway, I think that's it from me for today, because I have to feed my cat. Yeah. Okay, now let's The cat can wait. The cat can wait. The cat can wait. I just found someone cooked here. What? Anyway, go fuck yourself. I just wonder what's my longest run on Zodiac percentage wise. I think it's this one. This is 27. No! This is 29? 84 minus 55. Yeah, that's 29%. I think this is my longest percentage wise run and my biggest and my hardest run that I've done. Oh my god, I have like 28% on here. I have 29% made from 55 to 84. Okay. Pretty cool. I have this, succeeding to TMN and TMN to Slim Jim. And this. So I have 1, 2, 3. I have this. This 3 runs, 4 and 5. Nothing's changed. I still have Zodiac in 5 runs. Pretty cool number. Oh, that's a palindrome even. That's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, yeah, the sound was okay. It should have been like this the entire stream, but we only got that 40 minutes before that. Okay, how long is the stream? What do I do for 1 minute? I want to have a 2-hour stream. Nothing. I'll leave it at that. Thanks.